Hi, this is Ezra Roizen with Vader TV, the network for innovators. I'm here with Josh Steinitz, the founder and CEO of Nile Guide. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Josh, we're going to ask you a couple questions about just so far your experience being an entrepreneur and past experience and things to maybe pass on to other entrepreneurs in the Vader audience.
All right.
So now your site launched today, Nile Guide, and you've been in beta for about 4 months, 5 months, basically?
Something like that, yeah.
Now, getting off the ground, did you guys raise angel money, institutional money? How did this all sort of get started?
That's a good question. We raised kind of a group. We pulled together some resources from friends and family. So some people might call that an angel round. Initially, to get the product off the ground, we built a kind of an alpha demo product, if you will, just for San Francisco, actually. Use that to go out and raise kind of a seed round of venture money from a couple local Bay Area venture firms. And took that capital, invested in the product and the team, and got us to where we are today. And we're actually about to launch well, we've launched the site. We're about to announce a new funding round, which we'll fill you in on shortly.
Yeah, that's great. Congrats on all the success so far.
Thanks.
As you've gone through this early stage in the current climate, raising money and kind of getting the site off the ground and sort of building a new Web 2.0 travel property, are there things that you've experienced in the current market or the current situation, fundraising, building a team? Are there aspects that you've sort of run into in the current environment of launching a business in the Bay Area?
Wow, where to start? I'll try to come up with a few nuggets of wisdom, and then I'll let you ask further if you're interested. So one interesting thing I've learned is that if it's a consumer play, it's a little bit different than having some kind of obscure enterprise software app that you really need to dive deep and explain. Every venture capitalist has planned a trip, right? They all have a perspective on how it should be, or their wife does it, or someone does it, and they've got kind of a pre-existing idea of what the next product should look like. So there's that aspect to combat when you're going after a mass market consumer direct kind of thing like we are. So it's good to kind of have your responses in mind to take into account the different types of travelers out there, especially the VCs who tend to travel a little bit more high end than the rest of us riffraff. So that's one thing. The other thing is I think there's just a bit of a shifting appetite for risk that's kind of starting to happen,
right.
Where people are saying, well, there's just thousands of startups out there. Travel in particular is a big space. It's a crowded space. I just kind of need to wait for things to play out a little bit before I'm going to make my bet.
Right.
So we were lucky enough to be able to find some investors who kind of believe in the product and the team and the opportunity enough to kind of make that bet a little bit earlier.
And as you were out talking to those investors, were there things that they were drawn to in the model? Was it the team? Was it, I'm sure it was a combination of all these things, for the team, the product? Were there aspects that strategic relationships or things that you had that maybe other folks didn't have? What were the things that you felt for other folks trying to create these kinds of companies that you felt really helped in this sort of early fundraising process?
Well, you actually mentioned it, I think, which is absent proof of market traction, since we just launched today. Absent that, what you need is some other validation in the marketplace that amongst all the ideas out there, yours is going to bubble up to the top. So of course, kind of table stakes are there, in terms of a team, a product, all those good things. That's just to get to the starting line, right?
Right.
But to really raise the round, I think for us it really helped to actually have some distribution partnerships in place,
right.
which were quality, well-known, large brands that had decided to partner with us even prior to our public launch,
which
kind of gave these firms the confidence to know that, hey, these guys have seen lots of other options out there. They decided to go with us.
That's great. So distribution partnerships, great team, product in the bag, raise little bits of money along the way, then get yourself to a full launch.
Exactly.
That's pretty much textbook. So any other?
Well, I didn't mention the 20 mistakes we made along the way.
But you don't even mention that what it's been easy for you. So what are there any last thoughts?
I think the fun part about where we are is that even though we've been doing this for 2 years, we still have a bigger runway ahead of us than we do behind. So we're pretty fired up.
Looks like a great product. Congratulations on the launch, and I can't wait to plan my next trip on Nile Guide.
That's right. Thanks.
With that, this is Ezra Roizen with Vader TV, the network for innovators. Josh Steinitz, our innovator of the day with Nile Guide, which launched today. Check that out. www.nileguide.com.
Plan
a trip.